Across Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts and YouTube, this is Talking Science with Dr. Brad Tucker and Matt Miller.
Boeing's Starliner test that we talked about in December. Unfortunately, the results have come out that it was a little bit more glitchy than they first thought.
Yeah, it's not looking good to put not too fine of a point on it. We talked about the glitch that they had going up. The clock essentially that was the onboard, which got the time from the rocket, was slightly out of sync, so it got the wrong time, so it executed its maneuvers at the wrong time and didn't get into orbit. But they also had another glitch related to time on the way back that they caught and fixed. Had they not caught it, when the capsule was trying to join back with the command module, they would have essentially crashed and exploded.
Small problem.
Yeah, small problem, as you say. And again, it was another software glitch. So we're not talking about hardware designs. We're not talking about faulty designs in the infrastructure. We're talking about, the automated programs. And this is one of the difference in the next generation of travel. If we go and think about, as we've talked about, Neil Armstrong landing on the moon and piloting it and doing some last minute ditches, a lot of these are automatic, robotic, completely timed controlled, because that reduces issues, but it also makes it simpler and easier to use, and you have better fallbacks. When these things go wrong, they go wrong. And so it's definitely something that Boeing's going to need to be fixed. And there's talks that they'll have, reviews and inquiry, which means their hope of sending a human this year up may not be reached.
And they were considering going straight to a crewed test as the next flight. I think, as you're saying there, Brad, that's definitely off the table.
I think so. That's right. SpaceX, as we talked about, had some issues a while ago when they did their static abort test on the ground. They solved it, and then as a couple of weeks ago, as we talked about, they did their final abort tests and that. In this case, I think there was just too many faults to say, well, you didn't really do it successful. How many other issues might arise? And again, it's all about human spaceflight. A lot of safety protocols, a lot of measures are taken to make sure you get it right. And yet, I don't think negatively of them. It's hard, It's rocket science. It's hard. Yeah, literally. So things go wrong. These things happen. I think overall, though, Boeing has had a lot of software glitches, both in space and air, which is probably not boding well for things.
It was interesting. I did read an article over the weekend that was talking about that and talking about the culture, the possible culture at Boeing with the 737 MAX aircraft issues, and now with Starliner's issues. It sort of does raise the question of whether they're pushing through things and rushing through things to keep that money flowing.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because you're right. You don't want to paint. I know lots of people at Boeing are doing lots of great work, but yeah, there ends up being a theme, right? And you don't want to compare anyone to SpaceX, but SpaceX and Blue Origin, right? There's lots of companies out there having great success, taking it in proper strides and seemingly not having the problems. And you do want to separate plane and airplanes from space. It is different, but it does beg to wonder the questions that are arising and the issues there. I think, we hope that they get online, but I don't see a human mission, the crewed mission happening. I mean, at least before August, right? It's going to require a number of months. They may have to do another test to show that they can do it right. If you think about what SpaceX is doing, they haven't done their last abort test where the capsule jettisoned, so they still have to do that to get approval. So there's a few things that they still have to do that we know based on timelines. It's still putting it July, August, so it might even be till end of the year, early next year if they get it up. But, we'll see.
And, of course, the big caveat here as well is that we're all talking in hypotheticals and wondering what's going on, wondering why these issues are here. Obviously, we're not saying there's anything going on at Boeing, but it is really unfortunate. But as you say, it is rocket science and almost to a degree of airplane science as well. The whole thing, and just unfortunately, I mean, designing new things are always going to go wrong, and unfortunately for Boeing, it's two things at the moment, two pretty big things.
Look, it is, and yes, I said I don't think any negative on it. I don't think we're trying to say anything here. I think sometimes there's just bad luck, and that's the way it goes. Look, I think they will get back on lines. Boeing will put people up. That is not a doubt. I think it's just a question of timelines now. So we'll see that over the few months. But hopefully there's no other hidden issues found with the last test.
Absolutely. Well, we wish Boeing all the very best, and hopefully we can get those planes and those spacecraft up in the air and doing what they've been designed to do.
That's right. Fly.
Brad? Well, yes, exactly.